Does the Christian faith actually work in daily experience? This is a hugely important question to conclude our series, because there is little point in following a religion if it doesn't make a positive difference in our lives. The daily and experiential benefits of faith are another measurable area where Christianity stands out. For example, Christianity has brought untold good to our planet, and to an extent that is without comparison. Consider the equality of races, the abolishing of slavery in ancient and modern times, education for all, healthcare and for all, women getting the vote, our current economic model in the West, including the right to privately owned land, the sanctity of life, care for the poor, young and elderly, protection of the weak, vulnerable and marginalised. All these values and things came about as a result of the Christian faith. In more ways than we can imagine, the world was not like this before. It needs noting that there have certainly been abuses in the church. The church record isn't squeaky clean. Corrupt leaders have used religion as a tool for power. However, it can be fairly said that these were not actually evils of Christianity, but of people who abused it. To draw the distinction, the problem is actually that these people weren't Christian enough. When all is summarised, nothing has brought as much good to this planet as Jesus Christ and the lives of those who have followed His teachings. And it continues to this day, one person at a time. One way to illustrate this is to look at the extremes, where people who are in great need turn to God. For example, Christian programs amongst prisoners and drug addicts consistently have the lowest numbers of people returning to crime or addiction. National averages in America for people who return to drugs after going through a secular drug rehabilitation program were shown in a study to be between 50 and 75%. But in contrast, a church program in the same survey saw only 20% go back to drugs. And one prison fellowship program sees just 9% return to drug use. These patterns are consistent across a range of fields. Christian faith makes a unique difference. Other sociologists have observed the culture of entire communities changing as a result of a renewal in the Christian faith. People were more honest and worked harder and cared for each other, which led to reductions in crime and a higher commitment to marriage and family, and to increased wealth and health and happiness. A great local example is of the positive results that Christian faith brought to the Māori people of New Zealand early on. More than half of all Māori had embraced the Christian faith by the mid-1800s, and this was quite separate to the European churches. It led to a huge reduction in revenge and intertribal warfare, cannibalism, slavery, human sacrifice, poor treatment of women, and more. Unfortunately, the colonialism that came later on has overshadowed this in our memories, and understandably so. But the history is there and the pattern clear. And it's consistent with what is seen all around the world, including back when our European forefathers first heard the Christian message. We're only touching the tip of the iceberg here. Does Christianity work in our lives? Absolutely. When people put their faith in God through Christ, things start changing. The pastor at our church recently asked, "How many of you here would say that becoming a Christian is the best thing to ever have happened to you?" Nearly every hand in the congregation of 500 went up. And I know it to be true because I've had the privilege of hearing many people's stories, and because it's true for me too. To conclude, I want you to imagine that I'm about to make you the best pudding in the world. I explain all the reasons why it's so great. I tell you how great it looks and all about its nutritional benefits. I then read recommendations to you that others have written. Despite it all, you will never know how good it is until you try it, because the proof is in the pudding. And this is what God invites us to do. In Psalm 34:8, it says, "Taste and see that the Lord is good." As you can see, Christian faith is not foolish. There are very good reasons to take it seriously. I pray that this series will help you to do so. Thanks for joining us.